bringing you Jambo News Global Recap with me, Tracy Wambui. Kenya's President William Ruto has issued a public apology to Tanzania amid rising tensions following the detention and deportation of East African activists. The diplomatic row escalated after Kenyans criticized Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan on social media, prompting accusations of cyberbullying and disrespect from Tanzanian lawmakers.
To our children, if there is any misstep, we apologize. Our neighbors from Tanzania, if we have wronged you in any way, forgive us. Our friends from Uganda, if there is anything that Kenyans have done that's not right, we want to apologize.
During a national prayer breakfast, President Ruto extended an olive branch, expressing regret for any offense caused by Kenyans. The controversy arose from the treatment of activists, including Kenyan Boniface Mwangi, who are reportedly held and tortured before being deported. Both Kenya and Uganda have protested the lack of consular access for the detained individuals, highlighting the strain on relations between the neighboring countries. Sudan is facing an imminent public health crisis as cholera outbreaks and other diseases spread amid ongoing civil conflict, according to the International Rescue Committee. The Health Ministry reported 172 cholera-related deaths in just 1 week, predominantly in Khartoum state. Local doctors attribute the outbreak to power outages at water purification facilities caused by drone attacks, forcing the residents to use contaminated water. The IRC highlighted low vaccination coverage and dwindling medical supplies, while Doctors Without Borders reported thousands of suspected cholera cases. The ongoing conflict has severely compromised healthcare access, leaving many facilities overwhelmed and unable to provide adequate care. Zimbabwe's President Emmerson Mnangagwa has enacted a controversial law requiring all motorists to purchase a radio license before obtaining vehicle insurance, sparking widespread outrage. The annual fee of $92 is seen as excessive, particularly in the current tough economic climate. Critics, including opposition leader Nelson Chamisa, have labeled the measure as draconian and detrimental to citizens. The law aims to increase revenue for the struggling state broadcaster, Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, which has faced challenges in collecting license fees. Under the new regulations, insurance companies cannot sell policies to drivers without a valid radio license, intensifying the backlash from motorists. A Ugandan activist, Agatha Atuhaire, has alleged that she was raped while detained in Tanzania, where she was held alongside Kenyan activist Boniface Mwangi. After days in custody, Agatha reported being tortured and assaulted by individuals in plain clothes. Both activists were in Tanzania to support opposition leader Tundu Lissu, but were arrested and denied access to the court. Rights groups and the U.S. Department of State have expressed deep concern over their treatment, calling for an investigation into the allegations of abuse. Agatha was later found at the border showing signs of mistreatment, while Mwangi recounted a harrowing experience of torture and threats during their detention. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced the elimination of Mohammed Sinwar, the chief of Hamas in Gaza. Following a military strike in Khan Yunis, Sinwar, a key figure in the group, was reportedly targeted in an attack on the European hospital, which resulted in significant civilian casualties. While Hamas has not confirmed his death, Netanyahu heightened the military achievements in the ongoing conflict, which has seen over 54,000 deaths in Gaza since the start of hostilities, 600 days ago. Well, the announcement comes amid heightened scrutiny of Israel's military operations and concerns over the humanitarian impact of the strikes. A former college principal in Odisha, India, has been sentenced to life in prison for sending a parcel bomb that killed newlywed Soima Shekhar and his great-aunt in 2018. Punijal Meher, 56 years of age, was found guilty of murder and use of explosives after the bomb, disguised as a wedding gift, exploded when opened by Sahu's wife Rema. The court described the crime as heinous but opted against the death penalty. The investigation revealed Meher's motives stemmed from professional rivalry, and he meticulously planned the attack using a fake name to send the bomb from over 230 kilometers away. A massive explosion at a chemical plant in Shandong Province, China, has resulted in at least 5 fatalities and 19 injuries, with 6 individuals reported missing. The incident occurred around noon on Tuesday, and videos shared online depict thick black smoke billowing from the site. Over 200 emergency responders have been deployed on the Shandong Yudong chemical factory, which specializes in the development and production of pesticides, pharmaceuticals, and chemical intermediates. The cause of the explosion is currently under investigation. A Japanese flight from Tokyo to Texas was forced to make an emergency landing in seat after a passenger attempted to open one of the exit doors mid-flight. All Nippon Airways Flight 114, which took off on Saturday, diverted due to the unruly passenger who was experiencing a medical crisis and had to be restrained by other passengers and the crew. He was taken to a hospital upon landing, though it's unclear if he will face charges. While on the tarmac, a second individual was removed for unruly behavior. The flight ultimately arrived at Houston George Bush International Airport about 4 hours later, highlighting a worrying trend of similar incidents on flights. Authorities in Kerala, India, have issued an alert after a Liberian-flagged cargo ship carrying hazardous materials capsized off the coast near Kochi, leaking oil and other harmful substances into the Arabian Sea. The ship, MSC Elsa 3, began to tilt before capsizing early on Sunday, with all 24 crew members rescued. Some of the 640 containers on board are reportedly drifting towards shore, raising concerns for local residents and marine life. The Indian Coast Guard is deploying pollution control measures and aircraft to monitor the situation, as officials warn nearby residents to avoid contact with any containers or oil that may wash ashore. Thank you for joining us for Jumbo News Global Recap. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.